These are the jobs I did before I started social media. You can't really get a job until you turn 16 in most places. So when I was 14 to 16, I used to do door-to-door sales. And that is torturous in the winter and also in the summer. But like knocking on 100 doors in the freezing cold is actually not for the weak. But it was great. It helps a lot with social anxiety and it made me resilient to failure. So when I turned 16, I got a job. Oh my god, wait, I just remembered something. I actually had a job for like 2 days, I think, at this one place, and then I got fired. I actually have no idea. I got a really random mosquito bite on my arm and it fully like puffed up, and I couldn't go to work the next day, and it wasn't even work. I wasn't getting paid. It was a trial shift. And they fired me for not going. It was really weird. But that was at like a dessert shop. I fully forgot about that. But anyways, after that, I worked at a restaurant as a server for, I believe, a year and a half. I honestly didn't hate it. It was a lot of hours and it was also a lot of walking. I would clock like 10,000 steps minimum per day. And I used to work full-time during high school, so it was a lot, but the money was good. So service industry, tips, that's where it's at. But one day, I don't know, I think a customer really pissed me off and I was like, what am I doing here? And then I went up to my manager and I was like, I'm quitting. And then I think 2 months later, the summer after high school, I worked as a summer camp counselor. That was really fun, actually. Well, it was really stressful, but I made some good friends with the other camp counselors and it was just fun. Like it felt chill. No, it actually wasn't chill. There was a lot of drama, but it was fun. The pay was not great, but for the vibes, I guess. And then oh my god, I worked at the mall for like a week or 2 weeks. It was so funny. I literally went to drop off resumes and she does an interview on the spot and basically hires me on the spot, and I go into work the next day. They had an interesting dress code though. I literally quit like 2 weeks later because I got a full-time job, and she was like, oh my god, come back next year if you need a part-time job. And then 2 seconds later, she looks down at my shoes because it was my last shift and I was wearing sneakers, and she's like, but don't wear sneakers. I was like, I'm not coming back. My biggest pet peeve is when people tell me what to do, so I had to wear heels those 2 weeks I was working there, and I was struggling. And then I worked as an office receptionist slash like admin, answering calls, stuff like that, for like a year and a half. That was full-time because it was during my gap year, and the hours were torturous, but I definitely learned a lot. And it was kind of fun playing adult. But it also taught me the greatest lesson, which is that I never want to work for somebody ever again. And it's honestly just because I don't like being at a certain place at a certain time every single day. Like, I don't want to be told what time to wake up at in the morning. So yeah, I quit my job and haven't looked back since.